Buckle up, car lovers, because today we're diving into the wild world of the 1965 Chevrolet Corvette. This wasn't just any sports car, it was the heartbeat of American muscle, the sleek symbol of rebellion, and the dream machine that turned heads on every street. But behind those iconic curves and roaring engines lies a treasure chest of bizarre secrets most fans have never heard. From mysterious engineering quirks and forgotten prototypes to celebrity mishaps and hidden design flaws, some of these facts will leave even Corvette experts speechless. You think you know this classic? Think again. Stay with us until the very end, because fact number 20 will completely change how you see the Corvette forever. Let's fire up the engines and uncover the 20 weird facts you never knew about the 1965 Chevrolet Corvette. Fact 1. The first Corvette with four-wheel disc brakes. In 1965, Chevrolet transformed the Corvette from raw muscle into a precision instrument by introducing four-wheel disc brakes. Before this, every Corvette relied on drum brakes that faded and smoked during spirited driving. Zora Arkus Duntov, determined to match European sports cars, pushed for this upgrade despite resistance from executives worried about cost and complexity. When the system finally debuted, the difference was astonishing. Drivers discovered a newfound confidence in corners and at high speed, realizing the car could stop as fiercely as it could accelerate. Some buyers, however, feared the technology and bizarrely requested the old drum brakes instead, making those cars unusual collector pieces today. The shift marked more than an engineering milestone. It symbolized maturity. The Corvette was no longer just America's wild child, but a world-class performance machine that finally married strength with control, a crucial step toward its modern identity. Fact 2. The birth of the big block era. 1965 marked the dawn of unimaginable power. Chevrolet introduced the 396 cubic inch L78 big block engine, producing 425 horsepower. It was so fierce that some executives questioned whether it was too dangerous for public roads. Yet Zora Arkus Duntov insisted it belonged in America's greatest sports car. The new power plant demanded structural changes, stiffer springs, stronger brakes, and a raised hood bulged to clear its height. When unleashed, the big block roared like thunder, delivering acceleration that left competitors trembling. It shifted the Corvette's image from refined sports car to untouchable muscle legend. Enthusiasts embraced it instantly, and dealers could not keep up with demand. This single decision redefined the Corvette's future, ushering in the golden age of high-displacement engines. The big block was more than a motor. It was a declaration that Chevrolet would never be outpowered again. Fact 3. The final year for fuel injection. The 1965 Corvette marked the quiet farewell of mechanical fuel injection, a technology that had defined Corvette performance since 1957. Only 771 cars left the factory with the fuel-injected 375 horsepower small block. It delivered crisp throttle response and stunning efficiency, but was costly and difficult to service. As the new big block engines arrived, the system's complexity and expense sealed its fate. Chevrolet quietly discontinued it the following year, leaving carburetors to dominate for nearly 2 decades. Collectors now revere those rare 1965 fuel-injected models as symbols of innovation ahead of their time. They represent an era when engineers dared to push boundaries before practicality intervened. When fuel injection finally returned in the early 1980s, it carried computers and sensors, but its soul began here, with the brilliant, temperamental masterpiece that first dared to think differently. Fact 4. The disappearing hood vents. Early 1965, Corvettes rolled out with functional hood vents that gave the car a race-ready appearance and helped dissipate engine heat. Yet by mid-year, the vents mysteriously vanished. The reason was not design vanity, but rainwater. Moisture leaked through the openings, dripping onto ignition components and causing stalling. Engineers sealed the vents, then removed them entirely. Dealers received no explanation, and customers were left puzzled by the change. This quiet deletion created a fascinating divide between early and late production cars. Today, genuine vented hood Corvettes are highly prized by collectors for their rarity and visual aggression. The episode reflects how innovation often comes through trial and correction. The 1965 Corvette's disappearing vents tell a simple truth. Even the boldest designs sometimes yield to practicality, but in doing so, they leave behind stories that endure far longer than their flaws ever did. Fact 5. Power or precision, but not both. In 1965, Chevrolet forced Corvette buyers to make an agonizing choice: raw strength or refined precision. The new 396 cubic inch big block delivered massive torque, while the advanced fuel-injected small block offered unmatched responsiveness. Yet the two systems could not coexist. Engineering limitations and cost concerns meant fuel injection was never paired with the big block. Enthusiasts had to decide between brawn and brains, each defining a different driving experience. The big block ruled the straightaways. The lighter small block conquered corners with agility. This split revealed a philosophical divide within Chevrolet. Should the Corvette be a muscle car or a precision sports machine? That year became a defining moment in identity. The forbidden combination of power and technology remains one of the great what-ifs in automotive history, a dream that still sparks debate among Corvette purists generations later. Fact 6. The mysterious mid-year deletions. The 1965 Corvette was overflowing with new features, so many that the production lines could barely keep up. Supply issues and early failures led Chevrolet to quietly remove several options mid-year without public explanation. The Comfort and Convenience Group, offering power accessories, vanished first after reports of electrical glitches. Certain color combinations and trim details disappeared next, leaving owners confused when their cars arrived slightly different from brochure descriptions. Chevrolet never issued statements, preferring silence to scandal. These secret deletions became part of Corvette folklore, puzzling restorers decades later when identical cars bore mismatched features. The quiet revisions reflected a time when American automakers pushed innovation faster than logistics could handle. The 1965 Corvette's mid-year deletions are reminders that behind perfection lies chaos. And sometimes the most fascinating details in history are those quietly erased from the record. Fact 7. The color confusion. Painting Corvettes in 1965 turned out to be as unpredictable as the American weather. 10 official colors were listed, but changes in paint suppliers and formula batches produced unexpected variations. Glen Green, for example, appeared in shades ranging from deep forest to near emerald, while silver pearl sometimes shimmered gold under sunlight. The St. Louis plant unknowingly created transition hues that no catalog ever documented. Even more bizarre were a few two-tone mistakes, when body panels painted from different lots resulted in mismatched shades. Dealers sold them anyway, calling them unique factory survivors. Today, these happy accidents have become collector treasures recognized by restoration experts. The color confusion of 1965 proved that even in a world of engineering precision, art could still emerge from error, and sometimes, imperfection is what makes a legend unforgettable. Fact 8. The secret gold interior. Few Corvettes are as mysterious as those trimmed in the rare gold vinyl interior option of 1965. Known by its code 420, this shimmering interior gave the cabin a warm, luxurious glow. When paired with darker exterior colors, it looked almost royal. But the beauty was short-lived. The special dye used in the vinyl could not withstand sunlight. Within weeks, it faded, cracked, and discolored. Complaints poured in, and Chevrolet quietly discontinued the option before year's end. Fewer than a few hundred cars ever received it, and only a handful survive today in original condition. Restorers struggle to replicate its soft metallic hue, and enthusiasts speak of it almost mythically. The secret gold interior stands as a symbol of ambition meeting limitation, a beautiful experiment undone by nature itself, yet forever shining in the lore of Corvette history. Fact 9. The St. Louis Test Mules. In 1965, deep inside the St. Louis Corvette plant, a handful of unrecorded cars were built not for customers, but for discovery. These experimental vehicles, known later as test mules, carried parts and engines still under development. Some had aluminum cylinder heads, others tested new suspension systems, and a few even housed prototype engines destined for racing programs. Officially, they were supposed to be destroyed once testing ended, but whispers suggest several escaped destruction and were quietly sold. Decades later, collectors began finding Corvettes with unexplained performance differences or parts that never appeared on production models. These discoveries confirmed the legends of the St. Louis Test Mules, machines that bridged imagination and reality. They remind us that progress often hides in secrecy, and that behind every polished showroom model lies a forgotten fleet of cars that dared to dream faster than regulations allowed. Fact 10. Zora's Hidden Locker. Zora Arkus Duntov, the father of the Corvette, was both a genius and a rebel. When corporate red tape threatened to halt his performance experiments, he found a quiet way to fight back. a locked metal cabinet in his workshop filled with unapproved prototype parts. Inside were modified camshafts, pistons, manifolds, and notes for engines General Motors had forbidden him to build. Engineers would visit his locker of secrets when searching for performance breakthroughs, borrowing parts that later inspired legendary programs like the L-88. After Duntoff's retirement, the locker's contents vanished, though a few mysterious components surfaced years later matching his handwriting. Whether myth or truth, the story endures because it captures the Corvette's soul, innovation driven by passion, not permission. Zora's hidden locker stands as a symbol of fearless creativity, the secret heartbeat that helped make the Corvette a legend among machines. Fact 11. The hidden radio mystery. Deep within the dashboard of the 1965 Corvette lies one of its strangest secrets, a radio system that puzzled owners and historians for years. Unlike previous models, Chevrolet offered two different AM/FM radios during this production year, yet only one was officially documented. The confusion began when owners noticed frequency markings that did not match the factory manual. Some radios had wider bands, and others included hidden circuitry designed for experimental stereo output, though the Corvette was officially monaural. The explanation traces back to a mid-year supplier change. General Motors had contracted both Delco and another short-term electronics manufacturer to meet high demand. When Delco's factory faced shortages, engineers borrowed prototype stereo tuners intended for the upcoming 1966 models. A handful of these pre-production units were quietly installed in late 1965 Corvettes. They were not meant for sale, but deadlines left no choice. Dealers were never informed, and buyers simply assumed they had normal radios. Years later, restorers discovered that some cars could output faint dual-channel sound when connected to external speakers. Those early stereo circuits were primitive but revolutionary, placing the Corvette among the first American cars to secretly preview a feature that would not become standard for years. What makes the mystery even more intriguing is that Chevrolet never officially acknowledged it. Service manuals list only one radio model, while surviving evidence proves there were at least two. Collectors who find one of these rare transitional systems treat it as buried treasure, a tangible relic of Chevrolet's restless innovation. The hidden radio mystery reminds us that the Corvette's story was never just about engines and speed. It was about experimentation, tiny details that quietly pushed technology forward while the world focused on horsepower. In 1965, even the music inside the Corvette was ahead of its time. Fact 12. The rare side exhaust option. Among the many ways to identify a 1965 Corvette, none are as instantly striking as the gleaming side exhaust pipes that run just below the doors. Sleek, aggressive, and loud enough to rattle the pavement, these chrome-covered pipes became one of the most unforgettable visual and auditory symbols of American performance. But few people realize how rare and how controversial this option truly was. When Chevrolet first introduced the side exhaust system, it was meant to enhance both appearance and power. The design allowed exhaust gases to exit more freely, reducing back pressure and giving the engine a deeper, sharper roar. Yet that thrilling sound came with a price. The pipes ran close to the fiberglass body panels and created tremendous heat. Early owners learned quickly that stepping out of the car without caution could mean a scorched leg. Many dealerships even warned buyers to be careful when exiting on the passenger side. The heat problem led some to remove or modify the system, while others fell in love with its raw energy. Engineers added metal heat shields and protective covers, but the issue never completely disappeared. Despite its impracticality, the side exhaust option captured the imagination of the public. It turned the Corvette into a moving statement of power and defiance, as if the car itself was breathing fire along the roads of America. Only a fraction of 1965 Corvettes left the factory equipped with the side pipes, making them highly collectible today. Their combination of beauty, danger, and innovation perfectly reflected the spirit of mid-60s automotive culture, an era when style and performance were pushed to extremes. The rare side exhaust option remains a symbol of boldness, proof that Chevrolet was willing to take risks in pursuit of thrill. It was not just an accessory, it was an attitude cast in chrome and sound. Fact 13. The seatbelt law that changed everything. In 1965, a quiet but powerful shift occurred in American automotive history, and the Corvette was caught right in the middle of it. That year, for the first time, the United States required every new passenger car to come equipped with factory-installed seatbelts. What seemed like a simple regulation would forever change how cars were designed, and the Corvette's cockpit became an unexpected stage for that transformation. Before the law, seatbelts were optional on most cars. Many drivers considered them unnecessary or even uncomfortable. Sports car enthusiasts, obsessed with freedom and speed, often removed them altogether. But as accident data mounted, federal pressure grew. Chevrolet, ever the pioneer, decided not only to comply but to integrate the new belts in a way that matched the Corvette's performance image. Engineers designed unique retractable lap belts that blended into the seats, maintaining the cabin's clean look without sacrificing safety. Yet, not everyone was pleased. Some early owners complained that the belts interfered with the Corvette's low-slung seating position. Others disliked how the hardware scratched the interior panels. A few even asked dealers to remove them entirely, but history would prove Chevrolet right. Those belts marked the beginning of a new era in automotive awareness, a recognition that even the fastest machines needed to protect the people inside. Interestingly, the 1965 seatbelt design became a collectible feature in its own right. The chrome latches, embossed with the Corvette crossed flag logo, embodied both style and safety. Today, restorers treasure them as symbols of an era when innovation began to include responsibility. The seatbelt law of 1965 may have seemed mundane compared to roaring engines and sleek bodywork, but its impact was profound. It represented a turning point where performance met protection, and the Corvette once again led the way into the future, not just faster, but smarter and safer, too. Fact 14. The hidden headlight secret. One of the most iconic features of the 1965 Corvette was its sleek, hidden headlights. When closed, the lamps vanished completely beneath the front clamshell, giving the car a smooth, uninterrupted design that looked futuristic even decades later. But behind that beautiful illusion was a complex mechanical ballet that few drivers ever truly understood. Unlike modern systems powered by electricity, the Corvette's hidden headlights were operated by vacuum pressure. Each time the driver pulled the switch, a series of hoses, valves, and diaphragms worked together to raise or lower the headlight pods. When new, the system seemed almost magical. The lights appeared to rise from the body like eyes awakening in the dark, but over time, owners discovered its temperamental nature. A single cracked hose or tiny air leak could cause one headlight to rise while the other stayed asleep, leaving the car looking as if it were winking. Chevrolet engineers chose vacuum operation because it saved weight and allowed smoother movement than early electric motors. It also fit neatly into the Corvette's already cramped engine bay. However, mechanics soon learned that keeping the system airtight required patience and precision. Many Corvette owners became experts at tracing vacuum lines just to keep their cars looking perfect at night. Despite its flaws, the hidden headlight system became one of the Corvette's most beloved traits. It added personality and charm, turning each drive into a small performance. Watching those lights emerge before a midnight run captured everything the car represented: drama, elegance, and mystery. Today, restorers treat a perfectly functioning vacuum headlight system as a badge of honor. It reminds enthusiasts that the Corvette's beauty was not only in its power, but in the intricate details that brought it to life. The hidden headlights were more than engineering. They were theater, and the stage was the open road. Fact 15. The forgotten wooden steering wheel. Among all the powerful engines and advanced features that defined the 1965 Corvette, one elegant detail often escapes notice: the beautiful wooden steering wheel that graced its interior. It was not just a functional component, it was a statement of sophistication, connecting raw performance with refined craftsmanship. Few realized that this simple circle of polished walnut nearly vanished before it ever reached the public. Originally, Chevrolet planned to equip the Corvette with a more modern plastic rim to reduce costs and simplify production. But Zora Arkus Duntov and his team insisted that the wooden wheel remain. They believed it belonged in a true driver's car, offering a tactile connection between machine and man. The smooth wood transmitted every vibration from the road, every heartbeat of the engine. It gave the driver not only control, but communion. Still, the wooden wheel presented challenges. In humid climates, it expanded slightly, sometimes creaking or loosening from its aluminum spokes. In dry conditions, it could crack if not properly cared for. Some owners replaced them over time, unaware that they were discarding a piece of Corvette artistry. By the end of the decade, Chevrolet moved entirely to synthetic materials, and the handcrafted wheel became a memory of a more personal age. Collectors now treasure the original 1965 wooden wheels as a symbol of the car's soul. It represents an era when driving was intimate, when even high-performance machines carried the touch of artisans. Run your hands over that polished rim, and you can almost feel the pride of the craftsman who built it and the pulse of the road it was made to conquer. The forgotten wooden steering wheel reminds us that the Corvette was never just about horsepower. It was about connection, the union of power, grace, and human touch, all turning together beneath the driver's hands. Fact 16. The hidden compartment behind the seats. Tucked quietly behind the sleek seats of the 1965 Corvette lies one of its most overlooked secrets, a concealed storage compartment that blended seamlessly into the car's flowing design. To the casual eye, it looked like nothing more than part of the rear bulkhead, but with a careful tug on a small latch, a hidden panel swung open to reveal a surprisingly roomy space. Inside, owners could store maps, gloves, or personal belongings far from view, safe within the heart of America's most iconic sports car. What made this compartment remarkable was its combination of practicality and design genius. The Corvette was a car built for performance, not luggage, and every inch of its interior was carefully sculpted to save weight. Yet Chevrolet engineers managed to carve out this secret pocket without compromising the car's aerodynamics or rigidity. It was both clever and stylish, a small luxury disguised within a machine of speed. Stories began to circulate among enthusiasts that this hidden compartment served more than convenience. Some claimed that racing drivers used it to store paperwork, tools, or even spare spark plugs during endurance events. Others whispered that owners tucked love letters or valuables inside, trusting the Corvette's tight fiberglass shell more than a hotel safe. Whether truth or legend, these tales added romance to what was, at its core, an engineering detail. Today, restorers regard that small compartment as a charming reminder of how the Corvette balanced excitement with elegance. It was a car designed for thrills, yet thoughtful enough to offer a secret nook for life's essentials. Many owners still smile when they show it to newcomers, sliding open the hidden door like revealing a magician's trick. The hidden compartment behind the seats is proof that the Corvette's genius extended beyond speed. It was about discovery, little surprises that reminded drivers that beauty and utility could coexist in perfect harmony. Fact 17. The racing band that couldn't stop the Corvette. In 1965, a quiet war was unfolding within the walls of General Motors. The company had signed an internal agreement years earlier, promising to stay out of racing, a public relations move meant to appear responsible in the eyes of government regulators. Yet, for the men behind the Corvette, especially Zora Arkus Duntov, that promise was unbearable. To him, the Corvette existed for the track as much as for the open road. Performance was its birthright. Although Chevrolet could not officially sponsor racing, Duntov found creative ways around the rule. He developed parts labeled as heavy-duty options, available to any customer who knew how to order them. These components, stronger suspensions, stiffer shocks, and reinforced cooling systems, were essentially race equipment disguised as factory options. Savvy drivers used them to build competition-ready Corvettes straight from the showroom floor. The most famous of these covert creations was the L-88 engine program, born in secrecy during the mid-1960s. It would not officially debut until later, but its spirit began in 1965 with the experimental big block engines and prototype cars tested at tracks across America. Engineers quietly shared performance data with private teams, ensuring that Corvettes continued to dominate sports car racing without Chevrolet ever appearing involved. The company's corporate ban could silence advertisements, but not passion. Across the country, weekend racers brought their Corvettes to Sebring, Riverside, and Daytona, carrying unspoken support from engineers who cheered in secret. Each victory proved that the Corvette's competitive fire could not be extinguished by policy. The racing ban that was meant to restrain innovation instead fueled rebellion. It gave birth to a culture of ingenuity where performance thrived underground, protected by loyalty and daring. In 1965, the Corvette did not simply survive the ban, it outsmarted it, turning quiet defiance into lasting legend. Fact 18. The magnetic appeal of the side mirrors. At first glance, the side mirrors on the 1965 Corvette might seem like a minor detail, but they hold a story that reflects both innovation and unexpected controversy. That year, Chevrolet introduced a new bullet-shaped mirror design meant to match the car's futuristic body lines. Sleek, aerodynamic, and and distinctly sculpted, it looked more like something from a jet aircraft than an automobile. Yet the placement and design of this mirror would spark debate among drivers for decades. The factory-mounted mirror sat far forward on the fender instead of on the door, forcing drivers to lean awkwardly to get a proper view. The design decision was made for aesthetics rather than practicality. Engineers wanted the Corvette to look fast even while standing still, and placing the mirror along the curved fender added symmetry and style. But on the road, many owners quickly discovered that the beautiful design came with a price: limited visibility. Some drivers moved their mirrors to the door for better function, while others left them untouched, valuing authenticity over convenience. Over time, the unusual placement became part of the Corvette's identity, a small imperfection that added to its charm. It reminded enthusiasts that style sometimes ruled over logic in the golden age of American design. A few years later, Chevrolet refined the mirror's position and introduced dual mirrors for better safety, but the 1965 version remained iconic. Restorers today often go to great lengths to find original mirrors with the correct curvature and mounting base, as replacements rarely capture the same sculpted beauty. The magnetic appeal of those side mirrors lies not only in their shape, but in what they represent. They symbolize an era when designers dreamed without fear, when art and engineering danced together on four wheels. The Corvette did not just reflect the world, it asked the world to look back and admire. Fact 19. The birth of the independent rear suspension. The 1965 Corvette carried one of the most important engineering breakthroughs in its lineage: the fully independent rear suspension system. Before this innovation, most American performance cars relied on solid rear axles, which were strong but crude. They handled bumps poorly and limited stability during high-speed cornering. Zora Arkus Duntov, the brilliant chief engineer, wanted something better. He envisioned a suspension that allowed each rear wheel to move independently, hugging the pavement with precision no muscle car had ever known. The result was revolutionary. The new system used a transverse leaf spring and half shafts connected to a differential mounted directly to the frame. This design reduced unsprung weight and allowed the car to glide over uneven surfaces with surprising grace. For the first time, the Corvette combined raw American power with European finesse. Drivers could feel it instantly. The car cornered flatter, rode smoother, and gripped the road like never before. Chevrolet did not boast about the innovation as loudly as one might expect. The marketing team focused more on the big block engine and styling updates, while the suspension quietly redefined performance beneath the surface. It was a masterpiece of engineering subtlety, something that separated the Corvette from every rival, even those costing twice as much. Racers quickly recognized the advantage. On the track, the 1965 Corvette outperformed previous models by wide margins, proving that Duntov's vision had been right all along. The independent rear suspension became a permanent part of Corvette DNA, refined and improved in every generation that followed. Today, it stands as one of the most enduring mechanical achievements in American automotive history. It transformed the Corvette from a straight-line speed demon into a true sports car, capable of dancing through curves with elegance and control. The road itself seemed to bow beneath its newfound balance. Fact 20. The end of the fuel door emblem. As the sun set on the production year of 1965, the Corvette quietly said goodbye to one of its most recognizable styling details. The fuel door emblem perched proudly at the center of the rear deck. To the casual observer, it was a simple badge, but for enthusiasts, it represented a symbol of pride, heritage, and power. The crossed flag emblem, gleaming atop the fuel filler cap, was more than decoration. It was a finishing touch that told the world this was no ordinary car. It was a Corvette. Chevrolet originally included the raised fuel door emblem to combine form and function. Positioned directly above the gas tank, it allowed for easy fueling while showcasing the brand's identity. Drivers could refuel and simultaneously admire the Corvette's badge of honor glinting in the light. Yet, as aerodynamic design evolved and manufacturing methods changed, engineers realized that the ornate fuel cap disrupted airflow at high speeds. The chrome emblem also proved costly to produce and prone to fading under harsh sunlight. When the 1966 model arrived, the iconic deck emblem was gone, replaced by a cleaner, flatter design. Some purists were dismayed, feeling that a piece of personality had been lost. Others applauded the move, praising the smoother silhouette it created. Either way, the 1965 model became the final chapter for that proud little badge, a farewell to a design that perfectly embodied the spirit of early Corvette artistry. Today, restorers and collectors treasure the original fuel door emblem as a hallmark of authenticity. Its presence instantly identifies a true mid-60s Corvette and evokes nostalgia for an era when even the smallest details carried emotional weight. The end of the fuel door emblem was more than a design update. It was a symbolic moment. It marked the Corvette's transformation from handcrafted beauty to modern performance icon. A shift from the sentimental to the streamlined, from classic grace to futuristic speed. What if everything you thought you knew about the legendary 1965 Corvette was only half the story? Beneath its sculpted curves and roaring engine lies a world of hidden secrets, vanished features, and engineering experiments that never made the headlines. From mysterious test cars to rare color mistakes, this Corvette hides surprises even seasoned collectors overlook. Which of these strange facts shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments below. And if you love uncovering the untold stories behind iconic machines, don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more automotive mysteries, and share it with fellow Corvette fans.